Hey everyone. I'm just waiting for a few people to come on before I can start this live. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. You guys didn't know I can sing, huh? Hello, hello, hello. Hi, sweetheart, my beautiful cousin. How are you? Okay, I know I love you, Alicia Jarrett. I love you so much. Thanks for joining. And for those who saw my post, you know what this show is about tonight. It's about red flags in every relationship we're talking about. So let me know if you guys can hear me and what's going on. So before we start, this episode and going forward, I am going to definitely be bigging up a lot of Black businesses in the area that we can support. Alicia Jarrett, I love you, and you're all the way in the States. But listen, if you can support my cousin, she sells everything amazing. One of the things that I bought from her was the infused rose quartz body butter. Love it, love it, love it. Brooke Essentials, the girl that I get all my essential oils from. So I want you guys to go out and support these small businesses. They are amazing. I know you do ship to Canada, my girl. We got it and we love it. So after this, I'm going to definitely tag you on there. The Noor Lotus, my daughter's company, where she sells everything crystals she sells. So go out and support. Colleen Hunter, thank you for joining me. Colleen is another small business owner. She does the same thing like me, but we're sisters in business. I support her, she supports me. So she's another hot commodity you guys have to check out. Destiny, I'm going to give a shout out to you also, and congrats to the book you wrote. For those that's on here, Destiny, just put the name of your book so people can definitely reach out and see if they can, support you. Hi, my beautiful daughter, Noxanne. Thank you for always joining me. And for those that's on here, remember today's topic is about, oh my God, train of thought. It's going to come back. Train of thought. It is about, remind me. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous, but today is about red flags in relationship. Listen, we have all been there. We have all done it. I've done it. I've done it numerous times. And although I'm going in there with my eyes wide open, it still happens. Yes, keep laughing. So I'm going to thank everyone who joined me. And for those who are coming in, the ladies that I just mentioned, please make sure you hashtag and put your connect business in the feed so people can reach out and get your oils. Brooks, you know I love your oils and your soap because you know how that is. So everyone, thanks for joining. Thanks, Colleen, for reminding me. I don't know what happened. I guess hot flashes just hit me. Boom. Foggy brain and all. So listen, red flags. Listen, people, we've all been there. We've seen the red flags, but we always, for some unknown reason, we always ignore these red flags. I remember I've gotten some red flags long time in a lot of relationships. And I say, you know what? This is in my younger days, not now, but in my younger days, we can fix them. I've seen texts, I've gotten email. Thanks, Alicia, sweetheart. Thank you. Alicia just put her post in there, guys. So reach out to Alicia and go support the businesses. Christmas time, we all need some support here. So reach out to these ladies and go buy something and, start loving upon yourself. So ladies, what's your thoughts? And gentlemen that's on here, what's your thoughts on red flags? Have you ever seen a red flag but ignored and still go into a relationship? So that's what the topic is about today, right? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Lisa, for putting your link in here as well. All right. So Noxanne, even have you guys seen red flags and just decide to ignore it just because the person looks amazing and you think, you can't change them? Like seriously, who have done this? Who think, I can always change this person because, I'm that person, Hi everyone. For those who are just joining, we're talking about red flags and who's ever happened to. Do you know what? Let's do a whole bunch. We're going to talk about red flag and ghosting, and for whatever reason, when they contact you at night only. Lexi, you think so? Only if they contact you at night, you think that's a red flag? What if they're really busy and works during the day and sleep at night, or work at night and sleep during the day? I'm just playing devil's advocate, because you never know for whatever reason why people are, either reaching out to you at night. There's a new term that I heard people talking about, is cockroach. That's a new one all of a sudden. So I guess, Lexi, it would be similar to when you're saying that people reach out to you at night. Colleen, yes, because we believe it was, or it is, something wrong with the ex, not him. It's not. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's true, because they always have things to say about the exes, right? So here we as women, with our compassionate self or our feeling sorry for ourselves, we decide to believe them versus the ex, but we didn't hear the ex's story. There's weekends. That's true. There is on the weekends. That's true. That is true. They always want money. Lisa, who's asking you for money, baby girl? That's a red flag, eh? Like, if they ask you for money, would it be in the initial stage or right through the relationship? Because it can vary, no? Because there's so many different red flags. Not only in cheating. So red flags not only in cheating, it's also abusive as well. It can be, somebody mentioned money. Abusive relationship, that person be dominating. It could be a really nasty alpha male or alpha female. Because remember also, when we're talking about red flags, it doesn't only necessarily have to be on the man's side. It can also be on the woman's side. So for men who have seen red flag into women, I'd like to hear your take on that. Because so far the women are saying money, and if they call at night, and lies, what the guys will be saying about their exes. And it does happen. It happens every day. It happens every day. And we always make excuses, especially if this person looks amazing and, this is somebody that you think you can work with, right? One-way communication, one person putting in all of efforts. And that is true. Like, see, it's always like that. If one person is always, so this is not a relationship. This is a one-sided thing, right? Noxan, once upon a time I was stuck around someone based on their potential, but their potential isn't the reality. That is so true. Them talk nice. So the talk seems very expensive, but talk is cheap, right? So in a lot of things, actions speak louder than words. Right, Noxie? That is so true, Noxan. All right, then. So for the men, the women are saying stuff. I'd like to hear a man prospect on this. Like, what's going on? So men, you ever see a red flag when it comes to a woman, but because she looks so good, you just had to have her. You had to, stay in that relationship. Although, it's very toxic, not only for you, but for people around you, because now you want this person in your life just based on the way she looks. And on a typical day, she doesn't look too bad. And on a typical day, everything seems fine. But then she have those odd days. Is odd days a bad thing as well, right? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing in odd days, right? Because people do have bad days, but does it bother you if it's more than just often enough? Hey, JJ, Miss JJ Savage, how are you? Hi, my darling. Hi, Natanya, I see you. Thanks for joining. So, all right, for those who are coming in, we're talking about red flags. Come on, people, because I know I am not the only person who've seen red flags in people and ignore it and still go on. I know I'm not the only one. Bobby, I never think I can change anyone when I'm in a relationship. It's not my place to do that. It's my responsibility to work with what my partner gives in the relationship. And you are right. But I think it's as the more you become mature, because for women especially, I can't speak for men, Bobby. A lot of times women go in a relationship when they were younger, and probably now too, they're going in there in the hope that they can probably change this person. Not only change this person as if it's like, what would I say? It's a challenge, let me go in there, because women are such nurturers. They feel that probably they can go in and change this person, change whatever toxic relationship he's coming from, or whatever bad relationship that coming. We're healers. They want to go in and heal this person. But you're right. The older we get, And probably you're different, Bob, because I know you're one of those person that's strict and, all is well with you. You're going there with your eyes open, but a lot of us go in relationship with our eyes slightly closed. Hi, Natanya, JJ, good. I'm glad you're good, sweetheart. So come on, JJ, Natanya, have you ever been in a relationship that you see the red flag but ignore it and decided to just go in it anyways? Come on, people, you guys are quiet tonight. What's going on? What's going on? Brooks Essential. I had one to run. I even lost my business because of the person one. And I want to think I can change that person. Isn't that always the worst, Lisa? Always trying to change people. And we're seeing this, but we're always ignoring it. But yes, that's definitely a red flag. In any relationship, we have to always go in with our eyes open to the reality of things. Bobby, as for red flags, I am not into someone who consistently complains. I can't do with a constant complainer. So would you call that a red flag? Wouldn't they be complaining if things are so if you're with someone, Bobby, and you're not giving her what she needs or what she desires and is upfront about it, would you call that a complainer, or you mean complaining about everything? So answer me that, Bobby. Almost lost my business. Oh my, that bad. Wow. Well, I'm glad you didn't lose your business, because now you're doing amazingly well with your business. So thank God that didn't happen. But Lisa, anytime you're there with somebody, just make sure they're up and up, and you have that person who's there for you and your business, right? You're not sure, Natanya? Look at you. Lexi, I think we all miss red flags because we are head over heels at the start until later on. And that's the thing, Lexi, and you're correct in certain things. So that's why we always, in terms of dating, I think we have to get to know someone over time before rushing, and as you said, head over heels. We have to be open. Our eyes have to be open, to see it, because I can tell you, the signs are there. The signs are always there in the way they speak, in their demeanor, how they speak about someone. So if we're actually listening instead of goo gaga over that person, you will hear, or you will see the signs. Sophie, deceptive. I agree. Their complaints lead to toxic behavior. And you are right in some regards. Bobby, you are definitely right that complaints lead to toxic behavior, especially if the other person's a pushover. Because if you're going to always constantly bend to this complainer, yes, it can become very toxic. And you're right. Sophie, deceptive. When someone is deceptive, correct. So, but Sophie, have you ever had someone that you met and fell head over heel with this person? And you know what, to be honest, it doesn't have to be a male or a female. It could be a business partner like Lisa, although this business partner was also her lover. So, so that's another way. Khalid, I stayed with my ex for over 30 years, even though the beating started from I was in high school. Wow. No, my old age, this man still wants to beat. The red flag was there from day one, yet I stayed because I didn't want to try a new. That is so true, Colleen. A lot of people stayed in relationship, no matter how toxic it is, because they don't want to start over. And a lot of people and they don't want to be alone and don't want to be in the rat race. Isn't that ridiculous? But thank God you're not in that relationship anymore. And you're such an amazing person. Your story is just so similar. It's crazy, Colleen. And I love you for sharing that. People stay in relationship for wrong reason, right? Sophie, withhold information. That is true. They only tell you what them think that you want to hear, what sounds good. You're right. Max, it inconsistent. And that's true. People can be very inconsistent when in dating. And again, those are a lot of red flags. A lot of red flags. So far we have talked about the time that they called the cockroach syndrome, the moment come out at night, we're talking about inconsistency. Sophie's talking about withholding information. There's just so many things that's out there that we deem that we are saviors for people. Natanya, many times our sixth sense tell us, but we talk ourselves out of that through, and I am referring to business. Yes, Natanya, but that statement that you just wrote, not only for business too, it's for both ways. It's crazy because I remember I met this young girl, and I did an interview with her a couple of years ago, and I did a show called uh, Dream Lovers Night, and she claimed that she loved it, and we wanted to do something bigger. And we sat and we talked about it, that we're going to work together and do this. A couple months later, we're supposed to meet. It never happened. My girlfriend reached out to me and said, "Oh, Donna, this girl is looking for speakers to talk about sex and sexuality, right?" And she sent me the link. Hold and behold, it's the same person that we're supposed to be running this show together. She's running the show without me, and I gave her all my contact information. But at that same time, I did not see the red flags. For that, I didn't see the red flags. And then she has the audacity to ask me to be a speaker. I just smiled and blocked her. So, because you have some people who are very good at hiding red flags. Okay, so Sophie, guys pick on the fact from women don't want to wade in the dating pool, so they take that advantage to be abusive on all various levels. Yes, for some guys, you are right, because they know it's like one man to 10 women, they take advantage of that. You're right. But again, Sophia, the onus is on us too, right? Sweetheart, I think the onus is on us to go into any relationship with our eyes open, to ask the right questions, and I think people have to be authentic, and don't be afraid to ask the right questions, and a lot of times we see it, but we're not asking the right questions. Bobby, my ears are open to receive any topic. I'm talking about complaints that are about their friends, their family. Exactly, Bobby. Those are definitely red flags. If you hear somebody speaking about family and friends and everything else, because they are complainers, I totally agree with you on that front. See, trust your gut feeling. That's a red flag. It's a kryptonite. It saves you time, and you're right. It does save you time and energy. We always have to trust our gut feelings. Our gut don't lie. Our heart lies, because if we're going to rely on our hearts and these nice feeling that's in our stomach and that's feeling nice, it lies, because you're not getting the right person, right? We're not listening. We're not listening to what's going on, or we're not seeing the person for who they are, Hey, Jody, and thanks for joining. And for those who are just coming in, we're talking about red flags. If we've ever been in a situation that we met somebody who showed red flag, but we ignored it. We're also bigging up some small business people on this page. They're going to be putting their hashtag or their contact information in here, because we're going to be buying black from all these small businesses for the whole Christmas. So support. All right. So we did have some really good examples on here so far in terms of red flags. I appreciate it. Sophie, you can ask all the right question, but they are set on deceiving you. You can only rely on your woman intuition. And that's what I'm saying. You can tell. Our parents used to say, pick sense out of nonsense, right? And you're right, because I know some liars. I remember I had a friend and an acquaintance who waited around with this girl for 2 years and be her friend and her confidant. And the minute the girl said, "Oh my God, he's been here for me 2 years," and he had sex with her, he left her, because he really didn't want her. He just wanted to sleep with her. So that's a really good one, Judy. Another red flag is someone who's totally dependent on their partner for their identity. And you're so right. It happens so much time, so more times than none. And you're right, Bobby, because they don't have an identity by themselves, and they're dependent on their partner to be that person and to help them in everything that they do. So you're correct. So thank you. Bobby, I just love you. You're just giving some amazing tips. I love you. So Bobby seemed like he's the only guy in here who's talking on the man side of thing. Men, if there's any more men on here, I'm surprised. Last week for the last 2 shows, we had so much men, but not today. I wonder why. Bobby's the only one that's surrounded with Bobby. So Bobby, what's your thoughts on what Judy says? I'm going to reiterate what she says. You can ask all the right questions, but they are set on deceiving you. You can only rely on woman's intuition. Bobby, what do you think about what she's saying? She's coming up with a bunch of amazing input. A partner that is needy. That's true. A partner that's needy. As you said, again, a person that's needy doesn't have an identity for themselves, right? So that definitely is a red flag for a lot of people. They can't do anything on their own. They're not satisfied. They need that person to tell them who they are. can't stand you. You're such a nerd. I know you're right. Okay, we all know you're right now. Excuse me, I'm going to drink my tea. But yeah, so listen, you guys are coming up with a lot of amazing red flags, and but you know what? Body language as well. You know, body language don't lie. You know, being uncomfortable don't lie. You know, we have to be open and be receptive. I mean, a lot of times we really don't want to think that they're lying, but we have to come to the realization that probably they're lying, you know? Deep rooted insecurities, and that is so true. A lot of people are gonna, I can tell you something. Life is such an amazing thing. You know, we have the eyes to see, we have instinct, you know, gut feeling. We have we have so many things around us, and with with social media right now, I'm sure you can find out a lot of things about if you truly want. But the most important thing is you have to rely on your gut feeling, because I can tell you, he's going to lie one way or the other. He's going to get caught. So, you know, the onus, to be honest, the onus have to be on us to do our due diligence and you know, and go with it. You know, I know your people are saying that, you know, even if you ask the right question, they're going to be lying or they may not tell the truth. But we're hoping, you know, the good thing about women, and I've seen them done this, they ask the same question a couple times, but in different ways. And there's some people are just so not smart, them get catch all the time. So we have to go figure out how is it that we're going to catch people on their lyingness, right? It's just crazy how society has people just so wrapped up in the wrong things, you know? You know, you have married men or going out there and dating people. And I'm going to tell you something. I am judgment free when it comes to a lot of things. But if you're married and you're going to be talking to somebody that's single, I think that's a conversation that you need to have. So the woman or the man, because it could be the other way around, have that choice to see if they want to have that kind of relationship. Bobby is saying women's intuition can be a bit distorted because sometimes the woman, wavy to find something wrong with the man when they should. Just let things unfold. It will be uncovered in due time. But it will be uncovered in due time. But don't go looking for wrongdoings. But that's not it. I don't think they're going to look for wrongdoings. And you're right. It can be wishy-washy and wavy. You're right. We're not going to look for wrongdoing. What we're saying is just be open. If it doesn't smell right, there is something wrong. We're not going to say to go dig in somebody's phone book. No, I'm not saying to go creep or drive around and search. But all we're saying is just go into a relationship with your eyes wide open. Women are perfect detectives. We most of the time just need to verify what we know. And you're right, Lexi. Women does need to verify. But sometimes the truth is licking in your face, just smacking you back and forth. But you want to see tangible reasons why you need to leave this person. So that again is that's just so much energy being wasted, you know? Check their personality off, how many narcissistic traits they rack up. But it's true. That is so true. There's so many narcissistic people out there. And you're right. And with narcissists, Sophie, they can't hide that for so long. So you're correct. You cannot hide narcissistic behavior for so long. You know, they're going to come out just like that. They're going to come out just like that. Wavy equal want. Yeah, wavy equal want. I see what you're saying. Oh my God. Oh my God. For those who are joining, we're talking about red flags in relationships. And we're not talking about sexual relationship, or we're talking business relationship, business with self. We're just talking red flags in general. All right. So far we have some really amazing statements on how to find out what red flag is. Let's see what Bobby's saying. We're all adults. Just ask upfront questions and then decide. But that's what I'm saying, and that's what they're saying, Bobby. They're saying, although the question is being asked, men are so adamant that they're still lying. You know, so this is what we're saying. We have to go pick sense out of nonsense, because we can be speaking to someone, we're asking the questions, but they're giving us the answers that they think that we want to hear, and they're still not truthful. It's just like you're wearing a mask. And you know this, a lot of people wear masks, and you know this, B, from your past, of how your past job was. People lie all the time, and you can't do, but I can't figure out who a liar is. You know what I mean? But over time, when you have this relationship or this conversation, then you're going to figure out, okay, so, but last week he said this, but now he's saying this. Or last week she said this, but now she's saying this. Then these are red flags. Okay, then you're going to realize, okay, so probably this guy is lying, or this girl is lying based on the answers. Brooke Essential, I don't understand. Men still what? Men still lie? Men still what? I'm a little bit lost in that comment or that statement that you said. As much as we want to give people the benefit of the doubt when we're starting a relationship, it changes. You see what you were able to see. You want to see, yeah. You see what you want to see. It's true. You do see what you want to see, but trust me, it's going to change eventually when your eyes actually open. When, as somebody said earlier, when that dating stage is over now, then things are going to change. You're actually going to see the person for who he is. Lexi, sometimes is how you ask a question. But it's true, Lexi. There's ways of asking questions. And you're correct on that, beautiful. A red flag is definitely ghosting. So for those on here, and that's a good one. So also I wanted to talk about ghosting. So anybody in here has ever ghosted anyone or ever been ghosted? Because ghosting to me is like, nobody's ever ghosted me, but if somebody did, I don't know if I would be honest and tell anybody that I got ghosted. Men still lie when you ask upfront question. As for me, I always ask questions that I want answers for. But Lexi was also saying it all depends on how you pose the question, right? So, and you're right. Caution, Flex, you're not answering me. I'm sorry, I didn't see your question, Caution. What was your question? Please remind me. Inconsistency, true. Bobby says, accept people for who they are. If you want them to be in your life, your bed, you will keep them around. But it's true, Bobby, but as a man, and because you're the only man right now that's really talking, as a man, would some men just be talking and playing around with a person just because they want to bed them and then disappear? I guess that would be a ghosting too, right? It would be red flag plus ghosting the person that they slept with. Hi, Paul. Lexi, laugh out loud. I ghost because I just busy. Listen, Lexi, you can't be ghosting people because you're busy. Stop it. Stop it, Lexi. Don't be ghosting anyone just because you're busy. Just tell them, so listen, this is not for me. We're not going to do this, stop ghosting. Hi, Paul. Thanks again for joining me this week. So, Paul, we're talking about ghosting and we're talking about red flags. So please, and as a man, what's your take on, if for women, red flags, and if you ever ghosted anyone? That is so funny. Someone said they asked me a question, but I didn't even see it. Hi, Karen. How are you, beautiful? Thanks for joining me again this week. Let me see what this guy asked. I'm sorry, I don't even see his question on here. But anyways, I asked him to redo it anyways. Again, for those who are, yes, yes. You love to ghost, Bob, is that what you're saying? Men do what? Ghost? I know men do it all the time. I know men ghost women all the time. I've seen so many bad stories about men ghosting women and women ghosting men. But honestly, I think that's childish and immature. That's just my thing. If you have something to say, just say it and get it over with. Even if you have to go back and you feel bad for them, there's different ways of being diplomatic, and soften the blows when you don't want to continue a relationship with someone. And I know somebody who's very good at that. You've been ghosted and realize it was afraid of gas. Bobby said, I've been ghosted and realized I was afraid of Casper, so it didn't hurt me. Well, that's good as long as it didn't hurt you. So I guess you were okay with that. What's creepy, Paul? Ghosted? Noxan says, nah, some people need to be ghosted. Oh my God. Noxan, I know you're good at ghosting. I get that because I've seen your habits. But I think instead of we ghosting that person, I think we're supposed to be upfront and tell them what's going on, you know? And if they're persistent, then only that, then you can't say never tell them upfront that's how you're feeling. And probably you should not, you know, but at least you have that conversation. That would take a maturity person. And you're right, Jackie, it does. There are levels to accepting someone in your life or even your bed. For instance, respect is ultimate, not to mention boundaries. Yes, Sophie, I totally agree with you. You know, boundaries, there's so much thing to talk about in terms of dating, you know. Boundaries definitely is one of them. You know, if this person's, we have to define boundaries too. If that person's just going to be a lover, is this person going to be a constant person in my life? You know, those are things that need to be talked about. Yes, D Wolf, we ghost you, we love you. Noxan, I know your ghost game is impeccable. I know. Oh my God. So Noxan, give me an example of how impeccable is your ghost game. This, for those that's on here and don't know how to ghost someone, just give me a scenario and how it's so impeccable. Oh my gosh. Again, for those who are joining, we're talking about ghosting and we're talking about red flags in relationships. Can you spot red flags? You know, have you ever been ghosted? What is ghosting to you? You know, are you brave enough to speak to someone or talk to somebody about this relationship isn't going further? Are you going to just stop talking to them or you're just going to block them and name them do not answer? Lexi, ghosting has levels to it. You're either ghosting to analyze if it's worth it or ghosting because you realize you shouldn't be in the first place. You know what I love about you, Lexi, that you have some really beautiful ways of defining what ghosting is. What ghosting is to make you feel good. Ghosting is ghosting. Oh, Colleen wants to know what's ghosting. Colleen, ghosting is if you're talking to someone or you thought that relationship was going fine and all of a sudden that person disappeared out of your life. Like no more contact, no more nothing. Lexi just says, you know, when you ghosting somebody, you can to analyze if it's working or not. Look, you know, Lexi just wants to feel good about that. But that's just downright ghosting. Noxan, ghosting is when you just disappear stop all communication. That's it. We're done. You know, so that's ghosting. Colleen, I'm sure you have done a bunch of ghosting in your life. Noxan, I've seen someone on the road who I've ghosted and walk right by them as if I've never met this person in my life. Wow, Noxan. Man up all and tell girl she's not the one. I agree. So that's my take on it. If somebody's not that person for me, I'm going to say, listen, you're not for me. You know, you're not for me. Bye. And then if that person keep talking, again, trying to change my mind over the whole scenario, probably at that point, probably he's gone. I won't even start. I don't even know if I should call it ghost because I already told him that I'm not interested. But he's definitely going to be on do not answer in my contact list or blocked. Jackie, tonight I would do that Noxan wig. That's true, Jackie. I can see you doing it. Noxan is amazing. I've seen Noxan in action. Oh my God. So it's just crazy. The different techniques of hiding from people, you know? As I said earlier, people are just so full of mask and don't know how to carry a conversation, you know? And don't want to be authentic and true in telling someone, you know, I am not going to do this just because they don't want to hurt a person feeling. But whose energy is going to be lowered? That person who's having the issues by holding all this in and don't want to be truthful to themselves. Lexi, yes, that's Ghosting Level 101 at Block Zone. Listen, Lexi, you should see my phone. We should have a conversation about blocking. Bobby, woman up to tell the man. Bobby saying, tell the man that you don't want them. Don't be afraid. Natanya, oh my, I'm such a virgin to ghosting. Natanya, you are first, because even if you know someone like you, you don't want that, you still talk to them. I've seen your game, and we need to let Lexi teach you a thing or two. And Noxan and Lexi reach out to Natanya and teach her how to ghost people. Noxan, Jackie, that would take maturity. You're right, Jackie. It takes maturity to speak your mind, you know? Noxan says to Bobby, no, men won't accept that. It's true, Noxan. Listen, men are crazy. They're just thinking, you know what? I'm going to prove her wrong. Hey, Sasha, beautiful. Thanks for joining me again this week. Bobby, men can take it. They may not like it, but they can, and they will move on. Bobby, you and I need to sit down and we have to share stories, because there's some stories about some crazy men out there and women who don't like no. The fact that they don't want no. So they prefer people actually not saying anything to them than actually telling them, you know, this isn't working. Sasha, go right ahead and listen, sweetheart. We're talking about ghosted and red flags. So if you ever ghost anyone, or you ignore red flags and continue dating anyone, I'd like to hear your take on that, Sasha. Lexi, sometimes if you tell someone you are not interested, but they are clingy, that ghosting needed. Lexi, it's true. Yes, I totally agree with you. If the person not take no, Bobby's saying that people take no and they will move on, but you have some persons that they don't want to take no. They refuse to take no. Bobby, please do not speak for all men. Noxan, tell him, because I think he's trying to speak for all men, but it's not working that way. I have definitely ghosted. Sasha, I can tell. I know that you have ghosted. Share a story with me, please. That's not the case. Trust me. Noxan, are you referring to Bobby and him talking, make it looking so easy? Women are emotional, but men, geez, see? Yeah, we're not talking about all men. We're just talking about some of the men. It's just like it's not some of the women who doesn't do it too, right? Jackie, where are the men tonight? Yeah, I'm wondering, where are the men tonight? They're not saying it much. This is the first night that they're not saying much. Poor Bobby is surrounded with all these women. You're dealing with boys, Noxan. Noxan, Bobby is saying you're dealing with boys. But Bobby, I've seen men do it as well. I've seen older men do that too, right? More older men than the younger guys, to be honest with you. Sophie, when I get the persistent one, especially after I'm done, I block and go to no contact. That is true. Okay, so Bad Gal is saying that she blocked a guy and now he's stalking her. Wow. No, beautiful. We don't want that. You better set your dad and your brothers on him. We don't want no stalking in the family. Sasha, the man asked me to be with him after 1.5 weeks and he wants me to move in. What did you do to the poor man and he wants you to move in for 1.5 weeks? It's your smile, isn't it, Sasha? Rude. Good night, Andrew. How are you? Sasha, some men have been persistent to ring down the phone. Trust me, I know men can be very persistent. I remember once, and this is one of the reasons why I do not let men know where I live if I'm not interested, because I've seen one, I pulled up at my house before, and that's a no-no. Jackie, because they haven't grown up yet, them old man. Yeah, Jackie, they're definitely not grown up. They're stuck in that age of immaturity. I know women can be bad too, but still, yeah, trust me. As a woman, I know there's some crazy ass women out there. You're right. I swear I did nothing. Yeah, right, Sasha. I'm gonna believe you. Noxan, I blocked a man and he ended up writing me a 14-page letter and dropped it off at the doorsteps. Noxan, don't forget about him renting that place. I remember this guy. That's crazy. Renting that place next door to you. Some crazy people out there. I guess I'm just a realist. I blocked a man. Yeah. That's crazy. My brother on the case. He better be on the case, bad gal. Lexi, letter. Listen, no, he didn't have her address, Lexi. He dropped it off at the door. This is what I'm saying. When you're just meeting people, do not let them know where you live, because that can also be very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. We have to be very cautious this time and days, because people nowadays are desperate. Although they're saying one woman to 21 man for 20 women, sometimes these men them have the 19 women, but they still want that other one. Like, come on, people, grow up and make it and realize that. Listen, a woman says no, she means no, and vice versa. Ladies, if a man says no, just leave him alone. You know what I mean? There's just too much struggle, power struggling out there. Who wants what and who wants this? It's crazy. Knox, and he didn't know your address. Okay, so how did the letter end up at your doorstep, baby? You won't know my address unless you're ready to put a ring on it. Really? Have to be that far? He has to put a ring on it before he knows where you live? But it's okay for you to go visit him? Is that what you're saying, Lexi? The man was stalking me, rented an Airbnb a few houses up from me. I remember that he rented yes, I remember that. Hi, Mikey, how are you? Oh my God. Yeah, Knox, I now remember that. Oh my God. And it happens to Auntie Carol a lot too. I don't understand the woman in my family is always getting stalked for some unknown reason. So ladies that's on here, please do not let a man know where you live in the first stage of dating. Make sure you meet him up somewhere else, okay? Because we don't want no stalking. Because listen, I will beat somebody up, okay? All is well, Mikey. I hope all is well with you. Thanks for coming on. So, Mikey, have you ever stalked anyone? Let me know if you ever stalked anyone or ever ignore a red flag going into a relationship. How are you? So please chime in. Listen, guys on here, chime in, because the women are on Bobby right now, and I think Bobby needs some backup because he's trying to be diplomatic and looking for all men, but he's the only one. Unless you have a gun, huh? Woman, really? Huh, that's hard to believe. Woman stalk you. So I'm going to assume you mean woman stood you up or stalk you. I'm not sure. I don't know if you mean stalk or stalk. So explain that to me. So yeah. So for those who are just joining, we're talking about red flags. I guess stalking coming in here now. There's so much thing that's going on, but we have to reach that realization of being authentic and true in dating. Knox, and women are crazy. So of course, Knox, and we know some crazy ass women out there. There's so much crazy people out there, but just to wrap this up, we have to be authentic. We have to, in meeting people, we have to not wear any mask. We have to look for the signs. Because as I said earlier, and I think there's always signs, we just choose to ignore it. Sophie, usually one partner creates a crazy ex. Mikey says, woman hunt me down. Wow, Mikey, I wonder why. Lexi, red flag, not every person smile at you is a suitor, and that's why you end up with the stalkers. That is so true. That smile, all of a sudden we see the person smile and being amazing. We thought, oh my God, this is the one. I know women who meet men one day, and because he was so nice, they're planning their wedding in that one meeting. Mikey is saying women crazy too. Yeah, we're not saying women aren't crazy. Everybody is crazy. Everybody is crazy, but we have to go into a relationship with their eyes open and get to know someone first before we start involving them in the house, bringing them to meet your children, start planning the wedding, we're talking about is what Mikey have. Mikey, Knoxon wants to know what you have, why women are stalking you. I got to know your mutual circle, do the homework, and it's true. It's true. If you are with someone and you know they're mutual, your circle can give you, a little snapshot of who you are. Bobby, women need not pretend with what they want to be real, but upfront, be true. And Bobby, you are right. We all have to be upfront and true and be authentic. The older we get is the more we have to realize that, what? This is not somebody that I want to get stuck with. I'm too old or too mature to be having a stalker or having that stalker mentality. Things has to change. We have to be true. To get rid of all the masks. Come naked. And in terms of naked, I'm not talking about clothes. I mean, come naked. come vulnerable, be who you are. If the person, you realize that this person's not for you, suck it up, move on. I've seen a lot of texts out there and a lot of blogs out there talking about the older you get, it's harder for you to date. That's not true. It's where you are mentally. You know what I mean? If you want someone, you will find that person. But if everybody's saying, it's hard to find a good man, that's exactly what you're going to attract. So ladies and men, when you're going out there to date, going in there, standing in your power, stand in your power, ask the right question, take note, be aware. Don't be dozing off and thinking marriage. So now you're not thinking with here, you're thinking with here. You're thinking, he's amazing. He has this. I wonder what I'm going to be wearing for my wedding dress. Oh, my wedding dress needs to look like this, or I need to do that. And you're not listening or not paying attention because you're not in the moment, because your mind is elsewhere. Your mind is probably thinking, oh, okay, how much he makes, and vice versa. How big is his house? Can he afford me? And men, the same thing, just a nice body, what I want to do with this body, and not listening to the conversation. I think that's a lot of times that people get screwed because they're not listening. They're not listening because they're daydreaming about everything else and they're not in the moment. They're thinking about everything else, but they're not in the moment to know what's going on. Yes, if you're not listening intensely, that opportunity is going to miss you like that. You're not going to be hearing the flag or the red flag message. So you have to be in the moment. Jackie, I'm not saying all the time. I'm not talking all the time. But majority of the time, people are speaking and we're not listening because people are quick to answer or quick to have a retort and don't wait until the end of the sentence or the end of the conversation before they butt in. I'm not talking, so that's in terms of that. So I'm just speaking about it in a whole. Some people are just not in the moment a lot of times because we get distracted just like that. So that moment they're supposed to be listening to just flew by because we're not paying attention. We're not in the moment. We're not seeing the red flags. We're too quick to form a relationship. We want to have a relationship now. Instead of getting to know that person, we want that relationship right now. So we're not getting to know the person. And then when the honeymoon phase is out, then what? Right? Then you're going to be the one that's going to be in the pickle. Bobby, I've been stalked a couple of times, then had a photographer take pictures of the culprit and had the photos sent to her friend and parents. She stopped stalking me right away. Wow. That's a good idea. Noxan, take note from Bobby. Probably that's what you need to do. Yeah, but I don't think his parents would care anyways, right? But, for those who are on here, if you understand what I'm talking about, just be aware. Just be aware. Be in the moment and have the conversation so then we can eliminate, a toxic relationship. When does honeymoon finish? Well, the honeymoon phase finished depending on the relationship and depending on the person. Because you have some boring persons out there. But if you have somebody who knows how to have a newness in relationship by doing different things and going different places, have different conversations, and just have that newness, it can last for years. But for those who don't understand what a newness is in a relationship, Jackie, it could last for a couple months. Again, it all depends on it all depends on the individual. Empress. So if you're dating someone not even a month in and you're already bickering, would you consider that as a red flag or a lack of communication and trying to understand each other? It's a really good question, Empress. It could be both. You know what I mean? So we don't like bickering. Conversation and communication is not bickering. If you're bickering and having abusive conversation and swearing and storming off or acting crazy, then at that time it's a red flag. But if you're just having an open conversation about certain things, I don't think I would consider that a red flag. Communication, a decent communication, and there's understanding and somebody's listening to a complete communication, there's nothing wrong with that. It's when the abusiveness comes in with either swearing or stomping or punching a wall, those are red flags. So in that regard, I hope that answers your question, Empress. Yes, you definitely have to watch the tone, Lexi, for sure. You have to always watch tone. Tonality in people definitely is key. It's very key. Hey Randy, how are you? Thanks for joining. Good. The honeymoon finishes typically 7 years, then it moves into honeymoon phase two, another 7 years, phase three, another 7 years. Bobby, you know what? I wish I could believe you. The textbook probably says that, and you said it, but that's not true. I've heard women, people in honeymoon phase for 3 months and relationship is done because at that point they have no idea what to do. The newness is gone. The sex and the excitement of sex is gone. You know, the newness of just acting like kids is gone. And then what? Because a lot of people do not know how to refresh and revive their relationship. You know? Okay, so we kiss when you're feeling the bubbles in your belly, and after that, 7 years, that's a long time for somebody, especially somebody who do not know how to have newness. And you're right, because it was temporary. But at that point, they didn't think it was temporary. At that point, they didn't think it was temporary. But at that point, they're thinking, okay, this is it. Right? And this is where I'm talking about. You have to know persons. You have to know someone. You can't just be starting a relationship and think that you're going to know someone in a day or two or a couple weeks. It takes a while for you to know someone. What is it that they like or don't like? How am I going to appease this person? What does the person like to do? Fun. And if you weren't here last week where we talked about equal yoke when it comes to certain things. People have to understand each other. We have to always have something in common. We have to always have something in common. Not everything, but a couple things in common. They wanted to see what they wanted to see. And you're correct. That's what I said. They want to see what they want to see because they're not paying attention. I see you. I mean, you're looking at, because remember, physical attraction is the first thing that you're gonna find attracted. And that's like you're honing in because that person looks amazing. And then the next phase is sitting down and getting to know this person. Okay, the person seems all right. She's intelligent. She's an amazing lover. But you said it earlier. The bickering and the complaining becomes toxic. But guess what? She looks good on my arm or he looks good on my arm. And just because of that, only a lot of people will stay in that particular relationship just because they look good. But does that make it a good relationship? No. What makes the good relationship? Great communication. Great communication. Amazing sex. Finances are great. If something is bothering me and I'm open enough to say, Bobby or Devon or whomever, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on. And we're going to communicate and we're going to fix it. We're always going to try ways of newness, of trying to establish something great in the relationship. So we can always have that newness going forward. Because the day that relationship become toxic is a day that no newness is going on. It's a day that everybody's probably going to go their own ways or figure something else. And one is in the bedroom, one is upstairs and not doing anything. They're Bobby, they are instant like people, instant coffee, instant banking. Yeah, I get that. That's who they are, instant everything. They're temporary people. And I agree with you, Bobby. I definitely agree with you. Trophy isn't good for your mental health. It's a long run. And you're right as well, Lexi. You're so right. There's yeah, we just have to be just as I said, to pay attention. Bobby's saying a lot of times, a temporary thing is not gonna last. But if this person is for you, it would definitely last because then you're understand, what the person likes and what the person likes, so you always try to fix it or figure things out together. You and me, you and your partner. That me and your partner, your friend, your mother, your sister, your picnic them. It's just between me and your partner. Bobby, unless a trophy is a Grammy or an Oscar. You guys are nerds. Oh my God. Tonight was amazing. Our people's choice. I know you can go on, Bobby. I know you can go on and on and on because you are amazing and a nerd at the same time. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I want to thank you, everyone, for joining us. Tonight's episode, I mentioned a couple small businesses who I need you guys to support. It's Christmas. Support them. The Nor Lotus, which is my daughter, she sells everything crystals, my beads, and all of that. essential oils on here. I get all my oils from her. My soap. Um, she sells body butter, the whole 9 yards. My cousin's on here as well. She sells a crystal infused body butter and a whole bunch of stuff. I got a whole bunch of stuff from her. Jackie's on here. I didn't tag her, but she's a financial analyst. Natanya is also my amazing masseuse. She's like heaven sent. There's so many great people that's on here that I need you guys to support. And of course, me too. Don't forget me. Don't forget Savage Desires. Always looking for support, but support small businesses. It's a thing. I know COVID is among everything and everything is looking bleak, but it's how we look at it. We just have to look at it positive and just look at things positive. And at the end of the day, everything is going to turn out the way it's supposed to. All right. So again, thank you. Oh, before I go, Randy's saying something. There's a lot of people that would enjoy the benefit of a relationship, but not the work. Whatever relationship entitles, they would rather leave than fix it. And those same people wonder why they are single today. That's true, Randy. I so agree with you. It's always about you, D, and the others on here. Bobby, it's funny. Like I mentioned everybody else, and I mentioned myself last. But you know me, I'm a giver. Like I'm always supporting and giving everybody else, and I have not been promoting my business the way I should. But it stops today. God damn it! I'm supporting. I'm talking about my business. God damn it! It's just crazy. Bobby's saying, women, keep your eyes open. And that's what I'm going to be finished with. Guys, women, especially, keep your eyes open. Be in the moment. Figure out. Don't jump in anything right away. Stand up in your womanism. Be that strong person. And if it's a relationship you want, work on yourself. Work on yourself. Do you really want a relationship? Work on yourself. And make sure and you see the red flags. Make sure you see the red flags in a person and be okay with it. Be okay with it. All right. So for everyone that's here, again, thank you. Make sure you check out the small business ladies that put their business in here. And for those who listen to this on the replay, let me know that you listen to on the replay. And do me a favor, people, share. I would love for this to be shared. Share, and share. Support. Go on my website and take a look at what's on my website. I've created some mystery boxes that's on there. I've started. So take a look at the website and support, and share this. So everyone have a great night. Peace out.